Right, so today I want to talk about this tweet and something that's pretty big news, but maybe not big news considering we already kind of suspected it, in that Judicial Watch kind of just confirmed that Google manipulated from 2.6 million to 16 million votes for Hillary Clinton in the 2016 election. This was put out by a Clinton supporter, not a Trump supporter. Google should be sued. My victory was even bigger than thought, and then he takes Judicial Watch. And this is something that, again, something that we already knew. I mean, there's been leaked audio of Google uh, executives or people working at Google that said that we should have did more to mess with the election. There's been footage come out of a literal video come out since the 2016 election saying that they're going to do whatever it takes to prevent the next Trump situation, I believe was the quote. So Google is very openly politically biased, and it's something that it really surprises. Well, I mean, it kind of boggles my mind, I guess is a better way of putting it. That I mean, it doesn't surprise me considering knowing and understanding the left, but they were so concerned and so worried about Russia collusion, that Russia messed with the election. And then, it basically comes out that Russia maybe, basically all they did was buy some Facebook ads, and it wasn't even a large amount. And that Russia maybe swayed, like 100 people to vote Trump, like, if that. And Google more than likely manipulated at least 2.6 million people to vote for the Clintons, or to vote for Hillary in the 2016 election. And all these people that were so concerned about Russia, where are they on this? They're silent. So basically, they only care. They're just partisan bias, basically just partisan bias Democrats or leftists, basically, because they don't care when it happens the other way. Everyone on the right, well, not everyone, but most of the people on the right, they didn't respect it because it went on so long. But off the start, they were respectful of the Mueller report, or the Mueller investigation, whatever you want to call it. But after it went on very, very long, and the only things that they were coming up with were stuff that Trump wasn't even involved with. At that point, I think it was safe to say that it was a witch hunt, exactly what Trump was calling it. We do know that it was a witch hunt from day one at this point, but at the time, it was overwhelmingly likely. Anybody looking at it with an unbiased view knew that even from the start of it, it was 95+% chance that it was a witch hunt. I mean, now we know it was 100%, and the crazy thing is that there's still a lot of people that believe it, but this is a huge, huge, huge issue in politics nowadays, especially first world politics, because we have these tech companies, big corporations that, again, the left tends to vilify corporations, but they don't really seem to be very talkative on this issue. I mean, obviously we know why. It's because they're biased in favor of them, so of course they're not going to bring it up, but the left loves to vilify corporations, but they don't care about this kind of stuff. They were really concerned about election meddling in the last election, and you have the biggest company, I mean, it may be the biggest company in the world, I'm not sure. It's one of the top companies, a company that, if they really wanted to, they could manipulate a ton of, like, we see upwards of 16 million votes. Like, imagine the uproar if it was the other way around. It would be the biggest story in the history of news if it was the other way around. And that's not an exaggeration. Like, it would be wall-to-wall coverage. It would be world news, wall-to-wall. Just imagine how much they talked about the Russia collusion thing when it wasn't even true. Like, that was one of the biggest stories in the news for the last, I guess, since the 2016 election. Arguably the biggest. And it wasn't even true. It was completely made up. And all the evidence that came out only implicated the Clintons. Like, it was the Clinton campaign that paid for the fake dossier that led to the investigation. So, again, like, all the evidence from it implicated the Democrats in the Clinton campaign, but no one really seemed to care about that. So, yeah, like I said, this is something that if you're not concerned about, like I don't have words for you. Like if you're not concerned about it, just because you're an idiot or you're completely biased. Because if you have Google, like I said, Google engineers admitting on camera that they're going to manipulate ads, manipulate search results. I mean, Google owns YouTube, and YouTube is very censorious as well. So again, if you're not concerned about this stuff, like you're either not paying attention, you're an idiot, or you're just completely biased. And I think most of the time it's you're not paying attention or you're completely biased, and it needs to be called out too, because a lot of these people that defend it are they're just leftist partisans basically, or Democrat partisans, whatever you want to call it. So I'm not going to talk too much more about this, but like I said, it's a very, very important issue because you have Google on camera saying that they're going to do more than they did last time to try and manipulate the election, and they already cheated last time. I mean, they manipulated 2.5, or a little over 2.5 million votes, that, and upwards of 16 that could have been swayed. And another thing to point out too, go check out Judicial Watch's work, mainly on YouTube. They do a lot of good work exposing this kind of stuff, a lot of stuff that just they do, a lot of stuff that just they uncover that's exclusive from them. So make sure to go check them out. That's about all as far as this video goes. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more.